What's up guys, Gemma here and back again for a retro game hunt, and this time we are doing it very differently. We are back in Alfreton Sales and Exchange. Go and check them out. I will leave all of the details in the description. If you see anything or you want to pay John and Wendy's shop a visit, I highly recommend it. And I don't believe I've shown much of the attic in past retro game hunts here, so we're going to be taking a good look at that. You saw in the introduction some of the stuff that is coming up, so stay tuned, sit back, thump that subscribe button, and don't forget to leave a like. Now, these kinds of retro game stores are like Aladdin's cave. You guys have mentioned it in past videos that I've done here, but it's just amazing to go through the attic because sometimes you find some real hidden gems, and I did pick up some stuff, and I will show you guys. I've got a mammoth pickups video coming, so I've got another couple of things that I need to chuck in with the pickup, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Now, we just got some nice PS2 games here, some decent titles. We've got Code Veronica X, a copy of San Andreas, we got a steelbook edition of Hitman, True Crime. I'm just having a quick browse through these just to see if anything jumps out, but there were nothing that really kind of jumped out at me that said, you know, I want to get this. Most of them I have, but again, we're going to keep that reminder going. PS2 games, it is the time to buy because they're going to go up in value. Now, we're going to take more of a dip into this box here with some controllers, memory packs, memory cards for the PlayStation 1, rumble packs. There's a ton of stuff, and I live for this. Here we go, this thing here, look at this, a 4-player Nintendo Game Boy adapter. Things like that you don't see around very often. I don't know if it works because I'm yet to try it. But we do find some more cool stuff. So I think when you go to places like this, the boxes where there's loads of cables hanging out and you can kind of clock the odd controller rather, I think it's always worth having a rummage through. You never, like I say, you just never know what you're going to find. It kind of reminds me of that show American Pickers. Like the guys that just go out to random people's sheds and just pick out antiques that they can upcycle and sell on. Now, I'm not in that market, clearly. I'm a collector, a devout collector, and I love getting stuff to add in to the lady lounge. Now, there's a lot of boxes you'll see in pristine condition. We're going to take a look in this in a short second because I wanted to know if there was anything underneath, but unfortunately there wasn't, and the majority of these boxes were empty. But I think as a collector, finding boxes in this good of a condition is important if you're the kind of collector that wants to kind of have an immaculate range of stuff in your games room. So go and check it out. Go check John out. Make him an offer on some of these boxes. I don't know if they're all for sale, but it's worth asking. And I think boxes can go for quite a bit of cash as well. It's kind of unbelievable how much of a price difference a boxed console is versus an unboxed console. So that's a kind of interesting point. Maybe that's a point for discussion in an upcoming video. But me personally, where I can, I endeavour to buy boxed consoles. But if I'm absolutely desperate for a console, like, I don't know, one of the transparent versions of a Nintendo 64 and I really want it, I'm going to take it. So find some awesome Sega Saturn stuff in here, including this 6-player adapter, which again you don't come across very often, so I thought I'd kind of add that onto my pile there. And then you guys can clock the underneath of the Sega Saturn steering wheel, but before we take a look at that, I clock the box, which is pretty squished, and again we'll come back to that shot, but look how nice this Sega Saturn steering wheel is. I'll give it a clean up, and I think it will be good as new. So back to the box, a little bit crushed, but that's cool with me. $14.99 as an original price. Wow, like I love even seeing price stickers on old boxes. Is that sad? Or do other people know exactly what I mean? When you get that old price sticker, it'll say like Woolworths $9.99 or Blockbusters $7.99, and like obviously Woolworths and Blockbusters are no longer with us, so I think that personally for me adds to the nostalgia of retro game hunting. So we're having a deeper sift through the controller boxes. You'll see additional footage as well. And then after we've done in the attic, we're going to take a look on the first floor, and then we drop down to the ground floor in this video. So you're going to see more retro games, more retro consoles. This room isn't on show for the public, so if there's anything you do see and you do want to pay John a visit, you must ask. You must ask. It's always worth asking. And then on the ground floor, we got Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS4. I'm trying to show you guys a nice variety, and I want you to experience what I experience firsthand. That's why I love that some of these shots are a little bit wobbly, they're a little bit all over the place. It is very difficult to film with a gimbal and DSLR, I will say that. Jess wasn't with me on this retro game hunt, but it's nice because it is raw and pure, and that is what I love. So I'm just going through the rest of these boxes to see if there's any controllers. Nothing kind of jumped out. We got I believe that is an Amiga joystick right there. I don't have time to set my, I don't have space rather to set up my Amiga, so I did leave it. And then underneath I'm just kind of having a double, triple check to see if there's anything I've missed, and I haven't. So we leave the attic and we go down to the first floor. So there's lots of treasures on the first floor, not just retro video games, but really cool figures. If you're a Spice Girls fan, go and check it out, because I'm sure you can buy a little bit of Jerry Halliwell or a little bit of Mel B if that's your thing, but if it's not, rest assured, we got more games. Oh yeah. Now, what I love about this is every time I come here, it's kind of a weird comment, but there's less and less stuff. I think a lot of people have seen my videos that I've done here, and John has told me that a lot of people have gone in and a lot of people have bought some stuff. I remember when I first did a retro game hunt here, these shelves were overflowing, but don't let that kind of deter you thinking there's not much left. There is a ton of stuff left. We've got the bongos back there. We got a couple of NES console variants at the top. It's the action set and then the 4-player set as well. I was taking a look in this Xbox 360, this original Xbox. It was just boxed with wires. No games, unfortunately. And then I believed this was a Sega Mega Drive. I had to double, triple check. I'm sorry, I'm dressed like a bit of a tramp as well. My dog had thrown up on me earlier. Pretty grim, I know, but I had to go home and get changed, so I was kind of in a bit of a rush before I got here. But I do love it here. It's my childhood retro game store. I'll always come back to it. I just have so much time for it, but it's just amazing. I mean, I remember when this particular shelf that I'm looking up at the minute, it was just so many consoles, and I'm so pleased that people have been in and just bought a ton, and it just shows how much this community is thriving and is supportive of local businesses as well. Some PS1 games then. Fade to Black, True Pinball, Gran Turismo, Command and Conquer. Love me a little bit of C&C on the PlayStation 1. Many memories to be had with my friend Matthew Granger, who was a Command and Conquer hardcore fan. I didn't really get it much back then. I wasn't, unless it was like Theme Park or Theme Hospital, I wasn't a massive fan of strategy games outside of those two games, so it's kind of pretty linear for me. But nonetheless, I just used to sit in his bedroom, in his living room, back in school holidays, and just watch him play and kind of get really absorbed in watching. I mean, I just sometimes wish I could turn back time and just go back to those times, because I absolutely loved it. I hate being grown up. I freaking hate it. But please, again, share some of your really fond childhood memories with the retro game hunting. I love reading the stuff that you guys, got up to, the game stories, things you bought, magazines you read. It really makes me buzz. And speaking of buzzing, check this out. Back then we saw a little Game Boy printer, really nice condition. That was revolutionary back in the day. I mean, that was some serious technology right there, to be able to have one of those things. So it wasn't something I owned, but nonetheless a couple of my friends did, and they were like the cool kids on the block. Now I just wanted to show you this. You guys know I'm a huge Aliens fan. This Xenomorph and Han Solo, of course, stellar figures. And in the introduction you also saw the Spider-Man figurine. Again, all this stuff's on the first floor if you do pay a visit. Now we drop down to the first floor and we have yet more retro games, consoles, controllers. There's also, we're going to see in a second, John cleans. If you have any discs that are scratched or need a good clean, John will clean them for you, and you'll see the machines very shortly. Now we've got a nice range of 360 stuff. All nicely kind of on the wall. I love how this is arranged. Back in the day, there used to be the Super Nintendo on this wall, and there used to be the Sega Mega Drive. And again, if you've got any discs, these are the machines that clean your discs. John, I may be taking a couple of discs up to you that I've completely scratched to bits. So I think there's you can get quite a bit of stuff in here, including some Chucky dolls. This movie scared the life out of me as a little girl. I used to watch it with my grandmother. I mean, why on earth she thought that was a good idea to show me Chucky as a kid is beyond me. But I think that's why I love horror nowadays, because it's kind of twisted, but I grew up with horror films. I know it's not good, but we're going to wind it down there. If you want more retro game hunts, let me know in the comment section below. If there are any shops you'd like me to visit, please make some recommendations for me. But thumb that subscribe button. Enjoy the rest of the video or watch it again, or there's plenty in the cards. But for now, my name is Gemma. Take care. See you soon. Oh, and hit join or the first link in the description to become a part of Team 24 like these lovely people here. Cheers, guys.